Good morning. I'm Michael Kovnat, and this is the Next Big Idea Daily, your shortcut to the smartest new nonfiction, one big idea at a time. Now, what could be more terrifying than flying an F-16 fighter jet at supersonic speeds, feet away from other aircraft? Well, maybe public speaking, or asking for a promotion, or simply facing that inner voice that tells you you're not good enough. Those are the fears Michelle Curran needed to overcome. Michelle is an Air Force combat veteran who is also the lead solo pilot for the Thunderbirds. You know, those flying daredevils at air shows. But as scary as all that sounds, in her new book, The Flip Side, How to Invert Your Perspective and Turn Fear into Your Superpower, Michelle reveals that the most paralyzing fears she encountered weren't in the cockpit at all. She'll join us to share her big ideas right after this quick break.
Vitamin Water Zero Sugar has great taste, zero BS, and obviously zero sugar. For those with zero room in their calendar, zero patience for slow walkers, those who get 0 hours of sleep on a Saturday night, have zero filter, zero given, and zero interest in grabbing a plain, boring water. Grab a delicious Vitamin Water Zero Sugar today.
Does it ever feel like you're a marketing professional just
speaking into the void?
But with LinkedIn ads, you can know you're reaching the right decision makers, a network of 130 million of them, in fact. You can even target buyers by job title, industry, company, seniority, skills, and did I say job title? See how you can avoid the void and reach the right buyers with LinkedIn ads. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a free $250 credit for the next one. Get started at linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey there, I am Michelle Curran, callsign Mace. I spent over a decade as a fighter pilot and served as the lead solo for the U.S. Air Force Thunderbirds. I spent years operating in a high-pressure environment, from combat situations to performing high-speed maneuvers in front of millions of people. But what also came with that were the moments behind the scenes, the self-doubt, the struggle to find my identity, the near misses, and the mental battles that came with the job. Today, I'm going to share 5 key insights from my book, The Flip Side. Insight number 1. Your inner critic is just a voice, not a verdict. When I was young and inexperienced, just learning to be a fighter pilot, I lived with this constant fear that I didn't belong, that I wasn't good enough. I'd walk into a briefing room and feel like everyone else had it together. Meanwhile, I was hyper aware of everything I said and did as I tried to live up to my idea of what the perfect fighter pilot was. There's this voice that lives in all of us, that inner critic that tells you you're not ready, you're not enough, or you don't have what it takes. But here's the dangerous part. It sounds a whole lot like the truth. But the truth is, that voice is often just fear in disguise. Fear of being seen, fear of failing, or fear of finally succeeding and not knowing what to do with it. I had to learn that my inner critic wasn't a signal to stop. It didn't mean I was in the wrong place. It was a sign that I was pushing into something that mattered, something that was difficult but worth doing. I used to think that courage would show up first, that I'd feel ready and then I'd act. But what I learned is that courage comes after the action. So when that inner voice tells you you're not cut out for this, try this instead. Pause, acknowledge it, and then take one small, bold step anyway. Just focus on that. Because courage isn't the absence of doubt. It's action in the presence of it. And here's the key. I didn't get rid of the inner critic. I just stopped letting it drive. Even now, it still shows up. Before big decisions, at the start of new chapters, but I've learned to recognize its tone. It's never curious. It's never kind. It always speaks in absolutes. You'll never, you can't, you shouldn't. When I hear that voice now, I take it as a clue, not a command. It's a sign I'm stretching into something that matters. And that shift in relationship with fear, that has changed everything for me. Insight number 2, 1 minute, 1 hour, 1 month. During an air show in Colombia, I was flying my Thunderbird jet at 400 miles per hour, just a couple thousand feet above the forest when I saw a flash of black. I heard a loud thud and I felt the jet shake. I had just hit a bird. Later, I'd find out it was a Vulture with a 6-foot wingspan. But in that moment, all I knew was that this was serious. I didn't know how bad the damage was. Was the engine okay? Would the aircraft keep flying? My adrenaline spiked, but I didn't panic. I fell back on a mental checklist we drilled from day one in training. Maintain aircraft control, analyze the situation, take proper action. Step 1, don't make it worse. Step 2, what do I know? Step 3, what can I do about it? First, I focused on flying the jet, checking my instruments, and communicating with the rest of the team. Not fixing, but assessing, then acting. I still use that same process when things go sideways in life, but I translate it like this. What do I need to do in the next 1 minute, 1 hour, and 1 month? 1 minute, pause, breathe, just let yourself feel it. Ground yourself in your body. 1 hour, analyze, gather facts, get support. 1 month, adjust your habits, actions, and mindset. Whether it's a breakup, a layoff, or a deal falling through, you don't need to solve everything all at once. When a bird hits your jet, or life just hits you hard, start with the next minute. Because how you respond in small windows determines how you navigate the big ones. That bird strike could have gone very differently if I had let panic set the tempo. I could have turned a bad moment into a catastrophic one. And I think we do that in life too. We try to sprint through something that really needs a steady walk. So when something goes wrong, don't just ask, what should I do? Ask what matters most in this moment, what can wait, and what can I shift long-term with patience. That's how you lead yourself through pressure. Not perfectly, but with purpose. Insight number 3, wiggle your toes. Air refueling, where one airplane takes gas from another while flying along at over 300 miles per hour, thousands of feet in the air, is a skill that takes practice and finesse. And it is stressful to learn, to say the least. As a newbie pilot with little experience with this task, I was tense, my hand was going numb, and I was gripping the stick like it owed me money. And every time I got close to the position where our airplanes would actually touch, I'd overcorrect, become unstable, and be told to back up and try again. After one particularly bad flight, my instructor gave me this piece of advice. Mace, when you get close, don't forget to wiggle your toes. It sounded silly, considering we were trained combat pilots flying $30 million aircraft, but the next flight, I gave it a try. As I felt the stress build, I consciously moved my toes inside my boots, and it actually worked. That tiny movement disrupted the tension in my body. It made me breathe, relax, and refocus. Wiggling my toes became a ritual, and not just in the jet, but anytime stress made me want to control everything too tightly. That's the insight. When pressure rises, your instinct might be to grip tighter. But sometimes the best move is to loosen your hold. Try wiggling your toes. It's a physical disruptor. It breaks the stress spiral. It buys you a moment to respond with intention instead of reacting under duress. And sometimes, that's all you need to regain control. Not by force, but by presence. Insight number 4. Call signs are earned, not chosen. In the fighter pilot world, we have nicknames that we refer to as call signs, and you do not get to pick yours. It's given to you, usually after a mistake you made as a young pilot. Mine came during basic fighter maneuvering, what you would know as dogfighting. I got so focused on the wrong thing that I accidentally broke the sound barrier. There I was, supersonic when I wasn't supposed to be, and I didn't even realize it. I didn't even understand what had happened until after we landed and watched the cockpit recordings during our debrief. Not long after, I was officially named MACE, an acronym for Mach at Circle Entry. This wasn't a compliment. It was a reminder of a rookie mistake, and I honestly felt a lot of shame around it. Then I thought about how every single pilot in my unit had a call sign, even the most respected, the best, the most experienced. And I realized that when you're doing something hard, no one gets by unscathed. And it wasn't perfection that led to success, but persistence. And the truth is, our identities are often shaped by how we recover from our missteps, not how we avoid them. That moment became part of my growth. I eventually owned it. I learned from it, and I flew smarter because of it. You might not get to control how every chapter of your story starts, but you do get to decide how it ends. I used to carry so much shame around that call sign, but then I realized it meant I was in the game. You don't get a call sign if you're sitting on the sidelines. You get one by showing up, by getting it wrong, and still coming back for more. And the people I looked up to, every one of them had a moment they'd rather forget. That's when I understood. Confidence doesn't come from never falling. It comes from proving to yourself that you can rise after you do. Insight number 5. What's your go, no-go criteria? In aviation, we use a concept of go, no-go decisions. It's not something you make in the moment when things are falling apart. It's something you decide before the mission ever begins. Before every flight, especially ones that push limits, you set your criteria. If the weather drops below a certain level, no go. If fuel hits this mark, go home. If the system isn't functioning, abort the mission. Why? Because once you're in the air, the variables increase and so does the pressure. You're emotionally invested, and that's when people make poor decisions. They press forward toward an objective and into danger because they're already in motion. A great example in mountaineering is summit fever. When a team pushes ahead because that summit is so close, even though they've already passed their turnaround time. Go, no-goes keep you honest. It's a line you draw in calm so that when chaos hits, you don't have to figure it out. You just follow the plan. I've used this concept in my personal life too. Whether it's business, relationships, or big goals, I try to set my limits and my values before things get messy, before I've invested time, money, and energy. What am I willing to compromise on? What's non-negotiable? When will I walk away, shift course, or just say no? And this is where the sunk cost fallacy kicks in. We tell ourselves, I've already come this far. I've invested too much to quit now. But that logic traps us in bad decisions because the time, energy, or money you've already spent, that's gone. What matters is whether continuing is still aligned with your values, your safety, and your mission. Go, no-goes protects you from doubling down just to justify your investment. It gives you a way to honor your effort without letting it dictate your future. So that when things start to deviate from the plan, you don't have to scramble to find clarity. You've already said it. Because bold doesn't mean reckless. And quitting isn't the same as failing, if it's a decision you made with intention. So ask yourself, where do you need a go, no-go in your life right now? Draw those lines before you need them, because decisions made in calm are what guide you in chaos.
Thank you, Michelle. All right, everyone, you can get a copy of The Flip Side using the link in the episode notes. That's our show for the day. If you got something out of it, please leave a rating or review in your podcast player so others can find it. And go to nextbigideaclub.com to find out about our hardback subscription club, where we will send you right to your door the best new nonfiction books as chosen by our curators, Susan Cain, Malcolm Gladwell, Daniel Pink, and Adam Grant. And if you use the code DAILY, you can get a nice 20% discount. So that's nextbigideaclub.com and use the code DAILY. I'm Michael Kovnat. See you tomorrow.
Listen. That's the sound of the fully electric Audi Q6 e-tron. The sound of captivating electric performance, dynamic drive, and the quiet confidence of ultra-smooth handling. The elevated interior reminds you this is more than an EV. This is electric performance redefined. The fully electric Audi Q6 e-tron.
Every minute your finance team spends wrestling with data is a minute lost. Insight Software's AI-powered insights instantly move you from complexity to clarity. Automated analysis, real-time reporting, strategic recommendations, all at your fingertips. Transform how your finance team works and watch your business grow. Stop wasting time. Start making smarter decisions. Learn more at insightsoftware.com/AI.